What's up, guys? Welcome to A Reseller's Life. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for joining me. In this episode, I'm going to go over the 8 key habits you need to succeed as a reseller. If you just do these habits every single week, you are guaranteed to be successful at reselling, but most people miss a few of these and they're not consistent. So reselling success is just a lifestyle. It's just your schedule. So I'm going to go over the 8 things right now. Let's get straight into it. Number 1, focusing on customer service. This is the number 1 thing. I'm now doing this at 5 o'clock in the morning, right when I wake up. I don't want any unanswered questions. So I'm going to put a screenshot here of what unanswered questions are in your eBay dashboard. Make sure this number is 0. Even if the answer doesn't require being answered to, mark it as answered so that your customers know that you're not ignoring them and eBay's algorithm knows that you respond quickly to customer service. Number 2, you want to discuss your challenges and your most important thing each week, every single week, and as often as possible and with as many people as possible. So my example this week, my goal is 210 listings, 10 wholesale boxes, and also to close one of my storage units. I'm relocating right now, so my most important thing is to make sure that third unit gets closed out of 4 and relocated to the other location. 210 listings, and then the 10 wholesale boxes. The only one that I'm fully responsible for is the 10 wholesale boxes. There's movers helping me with one of the units, and then 210 listings is being listed by somebody else. But so my most important thing is really just the 10 wholesale boxes as I learn how to make that system. So I want to discuss that with my group every morning at 6 a.m. That's what I'm working on. Everybody else has their different priorities. And also this week, I'm going to be releasing my tax series. So if you guys have any questions on tax, hopefully that can answer for you. For most people, their most important thing should include looking over your numbers. That's really key. I'm going to go over that in more detail in just a moment. Number 3, you want to schedule your listing time. This is really important. I just talked to Kevin from the Thrifting Lounge. I love his system, which is 3 at lunch, 3 before he goes to sleep, extra $20,000 a year. That's how I look at it. I know people, sometimes they go for 5 units per day. I actually like 6 because it's nice and round. 3 in the morning before your family wakes up, or 3 in the evening when your family goes to bed, and 3 at lunchtime. That's very doable. It is time consuming though. It's going to take maybe 2 hours, in my opinion, to do that. 2 sets of 3 throughout the day. That's very realistic for a lot of people. And if you're just getting started or your store is broken and you're trying to fix it, this is very valuable advice because you can just do 2 sets of 3, not get overwhelmed, and that's an extra $20K a year. If you want to do it, you want to make $1,000 a week, or a little less, $40,000 per year, do that twice. If you do that 3 sets of those a day, and then you do 6 sets of 6 listings, there you go. Now you're making 60 grand a year, and that's your 1K a week. But break it down into small pieces. Scheduled listing time is number 3. For me, also, I take it one step further and do scheduled launching time. So for me, I have drafts made, so I'm launching every day at 5:30. So 5 in the morning, wake up, answer all questions. 5:30. Launch 30 listings per day. Now, it's not always that smooth. Eventually, for me, it will be because I'm always asking the question, what does it look like when it's done? When my reselling business is done, that means in the morning, I'm just reviewing the 30 listings that go live, and that's it. I have not really an interest in being completely hands-off in my reselling business, but when it's done, I'm just reviewing those 30 in the morning, and that's it. And that there's a lot of steps required in there. You have to pick your income goal. You have to pick up what does your overall business look like. And I'm going to make more resources for what it could look like when it's done, so you guys can pick and choose what things that you want. So scheduled launch time, scheduled listing time for me. James lists from 8 in the morning until he doesn't feel like listing anymore, but I'm going to try to adjust that so that he gets all the listings done on Monday. Because what happens to me is I get very stressed out if the week is progressing and new listings are not going up. So I'm going to eliminate that. My week starts on Sunday, and I don't really work on Sunday. So on Monday, I want to get as many listings done as possible so the rest of the week is stress-free. Number 4, scheduled sourcing time. This is huge, and I recommend 1 or 2 full days of sourcing. You can try like a little bit each day, But I found people are much more successful and they dedicate a large block of time to this. So you may want to go garage sailing on Saturday or Sunday, and in the rest of the week, get it listed. Number 5, scheduled shipping time. This one is very important. So for me, I'm actually trying something this week, which is picking in the morning and then finishing shipping right before I leave. And this is something that you can experiment with. I like shipping first thing in the morning because it builds momentum, but I also recognize it's a waste of your most valuable time. You should be doing something much harder in the beginning of the day instead of shipping. Don't waste your valuable energy on shipping. So I'm considering picking first, and then answering any customer service, because that's what I want my future employee to do. I want them to solve the customer service problems the earlier in the day, the better, because as people wait throughout the day, they get more anxious and they're more likely to leave a negative review. My new store, in 500 transactions, I haven't had a negative yet, knock on wood. I haven't had any revised feedback, meaning I haven't reached out to any of my customers to ask them to change their feedback, because my customer service has been done in the morning. So that pretty much eliminated most of unhappy customers. Unhappy customers are going to happen, and a negative feedback here and there won't hurt you. But because I'm so dedicated to doing customer service first thing in the morning, it's eliminating a lot of that. And the shipping, I think it makes most sense to do it right before the post office closes so you can get as many orders out the door as possible. I know that shipping time is a metric that all these platforms love. If you consistently ship fast, there are measures that help you. It's in their best interest to help people who ship faster. It's a better customer experience on the other end. And there are people who don't do that, and they're trying to basically weed those people out. So don't be surprised if you are suppressed in the listings because you take a long time to ship. I would do the same thing if I owned one of these platforms. Okay. Number 6, scheduled maintenance. This one is a big one. You guys know I'm running 3 sales right now. This is in many of my guides. One of the sales is marking things up and then marking them down. That's a fake sale. The other one is a combined shipping discount. So for my store, 2 or more items ship for the same cost as 1. This is why I'm trying to make my customers earn free shipping. I'm totally happy to offer free shipping if a customer asks me, but it's nice because sometimes when there's a return on the customer's mistake, I don't have to pay shipping both ways. So I'm okay with charging for shipping and then offering a combined shipping discount. So 2 or more items ship for the same. And then also the third one is an order size discount. So over $100, I get an additional $5 off. And so for me, my average sale price was about $51. So I'm trying to encourage people to buy 2 items, and I'm willing to give them a $5 discount for that. So that's 3 sales. I have them all end either every couple of days or every week to relaunch it, because you get a bit of a bump when it says items sale is about to end. Customers have a little bit of a sense of urgency. And so the last couple of days I've had right around $1,100 in sales on this new account, and mainly because I feel like people are starting to get used to this sale ending every Sunday. The new people coming to the listing are wanting to move quickly to get that. In this case, the sale that I'm running is 15%, but I'm always adjusting it and working on it depending on what kind of inventory. And then also, not all my items go on sale. You have to separate your inventory into different things. The worst thing you can do is actually discount items that are already going to sell, and then not discount items that need it to move. Like, you should only be discounting stuff that's hard to move at first. Don't give away your profit on your easy stuff. That stuff, try to make all the money and then squeeze what you can out of the stuff that's not so good. That's how reselling works. Not every single item is a home run. You need to pay attention. Number 7. So this one is a weekly performance review. This one is really important. So once a week, you need to set time aside to go to a coffee shop or go somewhere quiet and review if your business is working or not. This is something I'm taking from Gary Keller, The One Thing, which is my Bible this year. If you guys want to pick that up, my show is sponsored by Audible. So audibletrial.daily refinement, you can get that book for free. And if you end up canceling the service, you can still keep the book. If you're only going to read one book this year, it should be The One Thing, in my opinion. So audibletrial.daily refinement. During this weekly review, you want to go over your numbers and you want to get rid of things that are not working and keep things or double down on things that are working really well. But if you're not doing a weekly review, you don't really know what's going well and what's not going well. Ideally, you do this with your spouse. If you're both on the same page, you're in much better waters. I know it's painful, but for me, growing up, my parents argued about money nonstop. I don't remember any kind of time in my life when they didn't argue about money. So I'm forcing myself to do that in my own marriage right now because I do not want to be in that same boat. I do not want to be stuck arguing about finances nonstop when it's totally preventable. If you just make steady progress week after week, it's actually easier than you think to be financially stable. Okay, and then number 8, this is one that is very important, and I also learned it from, there are many books that talk about this. You don't have to idolize people who work 24/7, 7 days a week. In fact, there are a lot of people that you can follow that have some sense of balance in this sense. They schedule their family vacation and time first and then do their business around that. So, of course, sometimes your family takes a back seat if there's some kind of an emergency, but you do not want that to be the norm. You want to have that be the exception when your family gets put to the side, not the rule. So as an example, Gary Keller will, if he has a lunch schedule with his kid and he has a business meeting that overlaps, he will do the meeting at the school with the potential client so that he can show like, look, priorities are important to this company. You need to spend time with your family first if you have time. He schedules his vacations on a yearly basis the same year before that year. So I copied the same thing. For us, we decided that we wanted to do 8 weeks of vacation, 44 weeks of really hard work, potentially forever. Even if we're financially independent, we want to work because we feel like it's good. It's good for the world. It's good for you. It makes you appreciate your time away. Tim Ferriss's book, Vagabonding, really put into perspective for me, like, to really enjoy your vacation and your time off, you should work because you can really understand your place in the world. And if you are abundant, it's a great opportunity for you to give back to others and help them get to that point. So really important, schedule your time off. Once a week, you should go on a dinner with your family or your friends that's not related to work, and don't bring up work because most people don't care. And if you bring up your problems, maybe they even like it that you have problems because it helps them feel better about their lives. So just try to avoid talking about business and shop with every single person you meet. Most of the time, they don't care. And then one final thought. I'm reading another book called The Goal. Fantastic book. I'll link in the description below. And I'm reading this book, and it's funny because the lady in the book that's married to this workaholic guy, she's in the beginning of the book, she is like complaining and saying you're never home, you don't know your kids, etc. And then I'm thinking to myself, this is an unrealistic book, because if that was my wife, or like in my opinion, a normal wife, she would have divorced him by now, because you can't just ignore your family for years and expect them to be fine. So I thought this book is total garbage. No one does that. No family member just does it by themselves while the other person works. But in the middle of the book, she ends up leaving, which makes more sense to me, because at least she takes a break from him, because I don't think that's what she signed up for. And then he ends up becoming better at his job so that he can spend more time with her. And in the end, they actually discuss work at home, and they never did that before. She never really knew what he did at work. He never really knew what she did at home. So the communication was really lacking there. So I don't want to be in that position. I want to communicate my work to my spouse in a way that she will actually care. So it's not pushing, it's usually not the problems. Okay, it would be something to the lines of like, hey, I'm working on this. What do you think? That's probably a good way to do it, versus like, this person stole my item. That probably is not a good dinner conversation, but something that you're working on, involve your partner, involve your friends. I think that's really going to help you guys get to the next level. I appreciate your time. Please like, comment, subscribe. This episode is sponsored by my reseller field guide. It's $35 with code YouTube. It's all my greatest hits on how to build a reselling business. I base it off of trying to make $1,000 per week profit. And I feel like that's enough for people to quit their day job. So I appreciate your time again. Like, comment, subscribe, buy my guides for $35 with code YouTube, and I'll see you guys next time.